I've got my homemade makeshift holder here and some very specialist tools. So I'll see you in A&E probably. They look welded shut. You're having a giraffe in you. Do you reckon they're fake oysters? They're actually just like a lump of rock. Right, I'm going to have to use something sharper. Right, here we go. One of the kitchen knives. Bye-bye. What's going on? Welcome to the video. And as the description says, this is going to be a grain to glass video of an oyster stout. I have actually tried a couple of times an oyster stout and I've absolutely loved it. It gives the beer a much more kind of minerally content, a bit salty. So if you think about chocolate and salty caramel sort of flavours, it's not fishy, but I hope it won't be fishy at least. So I've taken inspiration for the base of this recipe from the Modern Homebrewer book, using the recipe of iron pear cast iron stout. The weights and hops and yeast that I'm going to be sharing with you isn't as per that recipe, but like I said, I've taken inspiration from that, as well as from my friend who owns a brewery who has made an oyster stout, which was lovely. So I'm kind of combining the both and yeah, just making it up as we go along. So let's get measuring out the specialty malts, a beer in the glass, and let's get mashing in. So this is of course my Blind Pig IPA. Beautiful looking beer in the glass. Check that out. Right, so we have our water treatment in here already. So I use reverse osmosis water, RO water, and I have created this to be a little bit of like a Dublin style water profile, like a stout porter water profile. Our water here in Wales is pretty good for that sort of style. However, I prefer to use RO water now, just to take all of the uncertainties and all the crap out of it. So let's get mashing in. Yeah, if you want, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Just like 500 grams, that's all, babe, nothing major. Of oats, any oats. Okay, jumbo oats if you can.
Okay, let's see if it's open.
Yeah, anyways, don't risk. I've forgotten bloody jumbo oats. And it's very late, and Gemma, fair play to her, is running down to the corner shop to see if they have any available there. Probably cost us 15 quid, mind. Let's chuck some specialities in. Get some aromas going. So this is the roasted barley. Chuck that in. Oh. instant stout smell. Stunning. Then let's go in with some chocolate. Oh. She good? Right, I'll carry on mashing in and we'll come back when we get the mash going. So that's everything into the mash. Gemma saved the day at 11 PM. Fair play to her, by running down to the local shop to grab some of this Tesco's organic oats, which I'll probably enjoy in the morning if I get up. So we're going to set this to mash at 66 degrees. Set the timer for 60 minutes. So the alarm's gone off, we're done with the sparge. The alarm's gone off, we're just done with the mash. So let's get the sparge underway. It smells awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let's knock the pump off and we'll ramp the temperature up to, let's say, 99. Just don't get any awful boilovers. Take the recirc arm out. Oh, look at that. Okay, where's the bar? Here's the bar. So this is only a 20 litre batch, so this shouldn't be too onerous to pick up, not like the good old 40 litre batches. There we go, straightforward, doesn't sound very stuck. So bring over the sparge water heater. Ouch, that's warm. Why is that so? That is hotter than 75. What is going on? Oh no, it's not. Just a bit oversensitive. There we are. That's more or less in the middle. Let's get the sparge going. Job done. And we'll be back for the hop drop. And for info, I don't know at this stage what hops I'm going to be using. I'm going to be aiming for an IBU of 22, and I want to do it right from the 60-minute boil edition. So yeah, I'm going to go into the shed now and see what hops we've got available. So I'll be back with that hop and the first edition. Okay, so we have reached a boil. Take my bins off. We've reached the boil, we've finished the sparge. Let's move this up onto the drain board. And look at that. Let's give this a good stir first. Right to the bottom. And then get a nice rolling boil, and then we can add the one and only hop addition into this beer. Oh, the colour of that looks incredible. Nice. So the hops that I've gone for are these bad boys, Apollo hops, and these are about 17 alpha acids, 16.9 I think it is, in this batch that I've got, which will give us at the start of the boil about 30 IBUs, which is where I think I want this beer to be. I don't want it to be too sweet. I like that bitterness in my stouts, so I'm going to be banging this in once we get up to a decent rolling boil, and then we can crack on literally with the oysters. Let's see how many fingers we got at the end of that section, eh? I'm happy enough for this boil. Let's chuck it in, set the timer for 60 minutes. Nice and simple. That's how we like it at midnight. So whilst the hop drop is in, quite a simple recipe. Now we've got the difficult bit of shucking these oysters without shucking an oyster before, if for one turn of a phrase. Bought these from Porthcawl here in South Wales. I've got my homemade makeshift holder here and some very specialist tools. So I'll see you in A&E probably. Okay, so we need 500 grams, which we've got about 650 grams here, which is equivalent to 8 oysters. Obviously most places sell oysters in numbers of rather than weight, for obvious reasons, because of the shell. These are proper fresh, don't smell fishy at all. So go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's what she charged me for as well, fair play. So let's start off with one lucky oyster and move these over to the side and see how many fingers we have. Don't hate me, I've never done this before. My mum has told me to use plenty of tea towels to protect my hands, so I'm going to use one. And over the top, I believe we start off at the knuckle end. Oh, here goes nothing. And what is the beauty with this? Even if I mess it up, the shell and the meat is going into the kettle anyway, so it doesn't need to be presentable and fancy, if you know what I mean. I can't see anything, mind. Right, let's put the bins on. Let's take a sip of beer. And we start at the hinge end, which looks impossible. They look welded shut. You're having a giraffe, and you? Do you reckon they're fake oysters? They're actually just like a lump of rock. Right, I'm going to have to use something sharper. Right, here we go. One of the kitchen knives. Oh, now we're talking. Ah, now we're in. We're shucking oysters, boys. Right, I don't want to ruin the kitchen knife, so now I've kind of half prized it open. Let's get in there with a good old screwdriver. And I think you've got to cut the muscle along the top. And there we have your standard oyster. Oh man. Along with all of this lovely juicy goodness inside as well, which is all going into the beer. All of this. Lovely. So, one down, still got 10 fingers, and 7 to go. So, we're now at game time. We've got these 8 oysters, or 500 or 600 grams, about half a pound of oysters, and they're going into the boil at 10. 9 on here, but I'll leave them in for 10 minutes, and in they go. And I will fish them out for a bit of a snack. I don't want to splash this up on me because it's gonna bloody sting. Clean this off straight away. What does this sound like? Yeah, it's like stirring the bottom of the sea. So yeah, let's leave that, and I'll cut back to when I'm either eating a stout infused oyster or when we're transferring. Okay, so the boiler's finished. This is smelling absolutely incredible. Let's turn the heat off, get rid of our giant bottle opener, and we'll connect the counterflow chiller. And what I like to do with this is just to run the boiling hot water through the pump, through the chiller, and once it starts coming out into the sink, we'll then transfer it back into the kettle, just to kind of sterilize it, push all the bad bits out in case there are any, and then we can start the chilling process. So let's put this over here. And what's nice about this style of beer, you can see it coming all the way through. You'll probably be able to see the temperature gauge as well, just about. So let's turn the pump on and put the valve on slowly. The Grainfather now, after the update, gives you a panic warning that you shouldn't pump boiling hot water through the system, but it's never done me any harm. Don't try this at home, folks. So this should absolutely fly through the filtration and transfer process, because there's literally 15 grams of hops or so. Here comes the wort, pushing everything else out with it. It's absolutely roasting hot, and we'll pinch that there, put it back into here, and then, as you can probably see up here, you can see the temperature rising pretty rapidly, because it should match where the kettle's at. And then we can start the counterflow chiller, which comes back into the sink for us to reuse as hot water. Yeah, I can't get to it, man. Here. Yeah. So once this run rate, I suppose, gets to about 22 degrees or 20 degrees, I'll then transfer it into the fermenter and add the yeast. So we don't go too cold, because at this time of year the ground temperature and the cold water temperature in the UK is about 10 degrees. So we might need to slow this right down, or indeed speed up the flow going into the chiller. It's about finding a happy balance. Okay, so we're at a stable temperature up here of 21 degrees, and let's get transferring to the furthest fermenter with the jacket on for this time of year. Let's keep it warm. Let's keep it warm. We're going to be fermenting at about 19 degrees with US 05, believe it or not. Let's give this a pinch and transfer it over. Boom. And I've double and triple checked that the bottom valve is closed. Okay, let's wait for that to transfer over, and you lucky people will be able to join at the immediate next part, where we'll be tasting the final beer. Iechyd, fingers crossed. So this beer has now been fermenting for 7 days, which should be plenty of time for it. It's been fermenting at 19 degrees Celsius. Been monitoring the temperature via the app and controlled via the glycol chiller as well. So let's have a quick taste of this whilst the keg has got Starsan in it, just sanitizing. Let's have a quick sample and see what it's like so far after washing a glass. There's a first look at the beer out the fermenter. You can tell it's got very dark tan bubbles to it. Smells roasty, stouty, as you'd expect. can't, it's not a disaster yet anyway. So let's have a taste. Iechyd. Wow. Definitely tell that it's got some umami flavour in there. Very slight saltiness, very slight. Oh wow. In terms of mouthfeel, it's quite a dry finish. And then just like a lingering bitterness. I did up the IBUs of the recipe. I think it only asked for, just 20 IBUs, which to me is a little bit light bitterness for something like a stout. So I aimed for 30, I think it was. That is so promising. Let's get in a keg. Oh. So like I said, this has got Starsan. What I like to do, put a couple of litres in the bottom, then gas on top, and then purge everything out into my Starsan bucket. And then what's left in here then is just the CO2. Ready for a bit of a closed transfer, I suppose. So we can knock all the chillers and that off. Oh, peace. That's not my stomach, by the way. Okay, perfect. So now we get our gas in and plonk it this side to be used as a vent. So it is a gravity transfer. So we'll lay this on its side and then connect it to the fermenter. And off we go. So once this has finished conditioning, probably 10, 14 days, we'll be back for the final results. Iechyd. And here's the beer. Cheers to beer. Before we get started, apologies if you hear any pecking noises. We have our not very well chicken down there. She's hurt her leg, so she's in rehab in the brewery. Chick chick, chick chick. And she's absolutely destroying the place and not laying any eggs either. Freeloader. Okay, so here's the beer. Impression wise, jet black, bit of a nice tan head to it. Aromas, very much what you'd expect from a heavy stout like this. You've got your chocolatey, your roasty, coffee sort of notes coming through. Nothing in terms of fishy aromas or beach aromas or anything like that. Yeah. So let's dive in for a taste. Iechyd. Oh my god. That is really, really good. I know I'm biased, but that is absolutely banging. So initial mouthfeel, obviously the heavy coffee bitterness sort of coming through, like quite a heavy coating mouthfeel. Then the salinity then from the oysters just carries that on, kind of leaves your kind of leaves your mouth quite dry, and then the bitterness is just lingering, almost like, I'm going to say, yeah, it's like salted caramel. But the oysters leave a very, very distinctive salinity to the beer. Oh wow, this is banging. So with this recipe, I was aiming for about 30 IBUs, not your kind of traditional 20 IBUs for this kind of stout, and I'm glad I did, because that really kind of pushes the bitterness, and then the salinity then just carries that forward, and it just blends out into that dryness. Oh, and just in time for the Guinness shortage as well. Well, I'm really impressed with that. It's definitely something I will brew again. I'll put a link in the description box below for the recipe. As it's Friday night, I've already done some bottling of this beer to take down to my local pub and share with my very, very lucky friends. So I hope you found that video useful. If you have any questions or comments, stick them in the box below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please consider subscribing. I think 50% of my audience are not currently subscribed to my channel, so please consider doing so, so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And so yeah, other than that, please wish little Chuck best of luck in her recovery, and yeah, Iechyd. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.